we'll do the public hearing first, and then we'll do the,
Oh, is that what you did?
yeah, I would say so.
That's what we do, too.
All right, welcome to the town board meeting. Tom Divney here, subbing for Teresa Penny.
Yeah, I guess if the other board members just want to indicate you've designated Tom to be the temporary chairman tonight.
I agree.
Same, agree.
All right, I'll have Paul Valentine lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tommy got it.
Councilman Tom Divney,
Here.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
Here.
Councilman Jerry Vitari,
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue,
Here.
and Supervisor Kenny is absent.
First announcement.
Which one's that?
First announcement.
Oh, announcement. On October 15th, 2022, from 8 to 11:30 a.m., there's going to be a free paper shredding event at the Orangetown Hall held by the town clerk's office. Please bring a non-perishable food item for donation to local food pantries. We are going to have a presentation from PKF O'Connor Davies for the town audit, but we're going to go to the hearing at 7:05 first. I don't think that should be a long hearing. I think everyone up here supports the legislation to prevent the trucking coming from on that street. You want to bring up Liz right now, or?
Sure, well, be a motion on number 3 to open the public hearing.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Liz, can you come up maybe? This is about amending Chapter 39 of the Town Code regarding vehicle and traffic regulations in Sparkville.
Good evening. I am the legal advisor to the Traffic Advisory Board, who has met once a month for quite some time now, hearing from members of the public about the trucking issue on William Street. It's a very narrow road, and because of some of the other conditions on the road, Traffic Advisory Board asked the Highway Department to do a study of, and a count rather than a study, of the number of trucks in that area, and we discovered that in the town code, this section of William Street had actually been designated a truck route, and so this local law is seeking to correct that. It's the only place in the town code that has a designation of a truck route, and so we're seeking to remove that designation and reinstate a 5-ton weight limit on William Street, and this is at the recommendation of the Traffic Advisory Board.
Mike Yanazone presented a great case and explained it very well, and thank you for following up with that.
All right, let's open up to the public.
Anyone from the public wish to speak?
Eileen Larkin.
You look good in the seat, Tom.
Thank you.
I signed my name before I read the agenda, and I see you do have Kings Highway on there, because I have a neighbor that lives on Kings Highway, and she said the trucks are going up and down that road also. So I believe on a list, you have a list of streets there where there will be, I think, truck traffic will not be allowed. So anyway, we were just talking about that a few days ago, about the trucks on that road. But what do you do with the trucks? You know, it's become an issue because they're delivering, they want warehouses. It's an issue that has to be looked at very carefully as we go forward, if we allow warehouses to be on 303. I don't know, I mean, they belong on the state roads. But then that means 340 becomes inundated with trucks, because I see them going north from like Closter and making the right turn up Horntook Road. I gave up. They're there 2 seconds, they're gone, they're on 9W, straight road. But it's going to become more of an issue as more and more warehouses are being requested. So I don't know where you find the roads for them where they can travel safely. They're working people, and they're bringing items to the area that people need, primarily, I hope, and want, because today everybody is ordering online. So there you go.
Thank you, Eileen. Next is James J. Cleary, Jr.
I'm speaking in favor of changing William Street down to 5 tons for several reasons. I'll be quick. One is there's a small bridge over Sparkill Creek.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
I don't think that could take the weight of increased trucking. Since you already have a draft change making William Street a 5-ton limit, I won't go into that. But ever since New York City started its congestion pricing for trucks into Manhattan, the state of New Jersey has been screaming that all this will do is shift heavy truck traffic away from the GW Bridge and onto New Jersey roads leading off of the Turnpike. We know big trucks can't go on the Palisades, they can't go on the Garden State, so they go up to the end of the Turnpike, and then they worm their way through Bergen County up to one of the nodal points, which is Sparkill and 340. 340 is one of the few roads going east-west, which allows the trucks to get into 303 and then to enter I-287 very quickly. I think we're going to face this problem again, because a lot of the roads, I think 340, do not have the foundation to take increased traffic. I know on 9W, right north of Piermont, there are signs saying this road can only take 10 tons. I don't know how much weight 340 can take, but with the increase in truck traffic being diverted away from New York City to avoid the congestion pricing, we're going to see a lot more of this problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Kathy Good.
Hi. I live on Main Street in Sparkill, and I'm there most days, all day long. And my house shakes all the time, rattles the windows. I have to readjust, I just did that, I readjust the mirrors on the walls. And my neighbor, I don't know if she's going to speak, she has a porch in front of her house, and the soot that's underneath this porch is disgusting. I don't have a porch, so it doesn't, hold the soot. And also, I want to speak for Eddie Ewald, who's not here. He's the landscaper that's right next door to me. And he said that his fence, around the curve there, he's had to replace it 5 times, that the trucks keep hitting it. So, I don't know. It's the worst thing about where I live is one of the worst, but is the truck traffic. And it's loud. And it's the rattling of the house. You cannot believe it. I invite any of you over to see, how that is. So, and it's an old house, so it kind of concerns me. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you. All right, next we have Renee Anna Bonsanti?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Anna is my mom, and I'm Renee, and I'm speaking on behalf of both of us. 647 Main Street is where we live. We own the building. That's that new brick building across the street from her house, Kathy's house, which is nearly on the corner by the light of 340 and Main Street. And the noise, and I'm disabled, as you can see, so I'm home practically every day because I can't do much of anything. I was nearly killed on Route 59 about a year and a half ago. When I tell you the amount of noise and the shaking and the dirt, because my bedroom and my mother's bedroom are facing Main Street and are right along Main Street. The dust, you can't keep up with it. It's just impossible. And it's constant. These trucks are running 24/7. And they're not little trucks. They're giant 18-wheeler, semi, whatever you call them. They run night and day, and then they got to make that turn, and 90% of them don't know how to make that turn. They can't cut it. The cars are backing up. Then you've got 2, 3 cars that have to back up on top of each other. It's a mess. And it's not a road that can take that type of traffic, that Main Street. And Spark Hill has become very popular now. It has become a hamlet, sort of like a Piermont. It's become a very trendy restaurant town. You can't find a parking spot on the weekends. And these trucks just barrel on through, and there's a lot of people walking throughout the village. It's dangerous. And the noise level is ridiculous. I mean, I put tape over the windows. It doesn't do anything. You know, and in the hot summertime, you've got the AC going. You've got to close the windows. It's just ludicrous. And you can't get any peace. And I don't know how to stress to you folks, it is not a road that should be a truck route. There are small little one-way streets that barely a car can fit on, that these trucks are driving on. These giant trucks. And it just doesn't make sense. And what the gentleman said made 100% a world of sense. With the congestion pricing in the city, these trucks are managing to make their way into Spark Hill. He's 100% correct. They're going to find their way to get to around that pricing and find a way to get to 287. And if it means getting to that truck route in Spark Hill, that's the way they're going to go, ultimately. And I just don't think it's fair to the citizens in this town that are paying astronomical taxes, that we just got an increase in the school tax, okay? And it's crazy. My mom is 80 years old. She's one, I'm going to be vacating soon. She's going to be the one paying all these giant bills. And it's just, I just think it's not fair to the people in the town, especially a lot of the elderly that are living there. And there are a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak.
All right. That is it for people who have signed up for this hearing. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this issue? All right. Just state your name and your address for the record, please.
Sure. Jerry Goggins, 66 Sickletown Road. First of all, I want to thank Rosanna Spraga and the other excellent people in the town clerk's office who helped me and Susan to get our marriage license on Thursday, I think it was, despite us crashing the license system. And we got married on Saturday, you'll be happy to hear. And thank you very much. But I'm not here to talk about that, of course. But I just want to express my really sincere thanks for all the care everybody in your office extended. It was really like exemplary. Thank you so much. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, RCW held an event.
This is a public hearing regarding this specific issue only.
Oh, I can't speak. Have you had the public comment section yet?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
This is
All
just
right.
this hearing, Mr.
I beg
Higgins.
your pardon.
All right, I'll let you know when you can come up. Anyone else want to speak on this particular issue of the hearing for William Street, the truck traffic, and the changing of the law? All right.
Motion to close?
Motion to close, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Let's finish this.
So if you're inclined to adopt it, the next resolution is to declare yourselves as lead agency and make a secret determination. That's a type 2 action. That would be a motion on that.
I'll make that motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then I'm gonna make a motion to adopt the law, amending Town Code Chapter 39, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 1, Vehicle and Traffic Regulations, Section 3911D, heavy trucking in the hamlet of Sparkville. Can I get a motion?
Yep.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Do we need a roll call, Rob?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's go to the audit. We got,
That motion is passed, and the law has been changed, so no truck traffic can be on William Street.
all right.
Have a good night.
And we'll let you leave, and then we can do the annual audit with PKF O'Connor Davies.
Good evening, members of the
Evening.
town board. I'm Nick DeSantis. I'm a partner with the firm of PKF O'Connor Davies. And, is it on? Push. Yeah, it's on. I'm a partner with the firm of PKF O'Connor Davies, and with me this evening is my partner, Rob Danielle, who actually conducted the audit for the town of Orangetown for the year ended December 31st, 2021. You have before you two documents. One is a spiral bound book, which is the actual financial statements and the annual comprehensive financial report for the year ended December 31st, 2021. And for the purpose of this evening, we've extrapolated some information from that audit report and put it into this landscape booklet format. But before I go to the landscape booklet, I just want to turn to a couple of things within the spiral book. One of the first things I want to turn to is on page Roman numeral 11. It's the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting given to the town of Orangetown. This is, I believe, your 15th consecutive year of receiving this award. It's a coveted award in the state of New York. Not many municipalities get to receive this award. I think there may be somewhere around 25 municipalities in the state of New York that receive this award. So it's from the national organization. Jeff and his team in the finance department do a wonderful job compiling all the required information so that the town can continue to participate in this program. Right after that award page, you'll come to the independent auditor's report. And I just want to direct you to the second paragraph on that page, which says, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements referred to in all material respect, the respective financial position of government activities, business-type activities, the discretely presented component unit, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the town as of December 31st, 2021. So essentially what this says is that you're receiving an unqualified opinion, a clean opinion in layman's terms, from the audit firm with respect to your financial statements. You should know this year was the first year that I believe we also audited the housing authority, is that right? Correct. And they're a component unit within the financial statements. So with that said, what we'd like to do is turn to this booklet, and we know you have a very lengthy agenda, so we're going to go right to the most important items. We're going to start on page 5. Page 5 is the general fund for the town. And Rob, would you like to begin to take them through that?
Yes, so on page 5, you'll see, excuse me, you'll see 4 columns there. That's what, the first column is your original budget, and that's what you folks adopted back in the fall, winter of 2020. Again, from a high level, you can see your total revenues amounted to just under $13.8 million. Your expenditures were $14.6 million. Leaving a deficiency, if you will, of $814,000. And what that represents is 2 pieces. The small amount, about $114,000, are prior year encumbrances or POs that you committed to that automatically roll, and you're using last year's budgeted dollars to pay for them. And the bigger item, $700,000, is what the town board approved to balance the budget and use its own fund balance to balance the budget, and thus provide a form of property tax relief. The middle column is your final budget. During the year, the town receives items of federal, state aid that you didn't anticipate. The budget is amended for those purposes. But as you can see, the net change there is still what you anticipated, the bracketed $814,000. Third column is what actually happened. Your actual revenues came in at $17.4 million, $1.8 million better than you anticipated. And you also had expenditure savings, $14 million compared to $15.5 million in your final budget. Again, savings in all categories. You factor in your transfers, transfers out. The big item there is transfers to the capital projects fund to continue your capital improvements. And you end the year with revenues that exceeded expenditures by a little over $2.5 million. You're able to add that to your opening fund balance of $10.9 million. You end the year at $13.5 million. What's important to note is that net change in fund balance. You can see that when you developed the budget, you anticipated using $814,000 of your own monies, but you can see that not only did you not need to utilize that, but the general fund generated a surplus, if you will, of $2.5 million. So all the way to the right, you see that variance with final budget. You had a budgetary surplus of almost $3.4 million.
And Rob, that didn't include the federal ARPA funds, right?
That did not. Some of those funds are not spent.
They weren't spent as of December 31st.
About 900,000 in there.
Yeah.
Some, yeah, some.
We have 3.8 million, so that's still to be accumulated this year and next year.
You have a couple of years to spend that, correct. So page 6, how did you get there? This is the revenue side. I mentioned you were $1.8 million favorable, if you will. I just highlighted 4 items there. Sales tax, which is included in your non-property taxes. Again, the sales tax exceeded a final budget. You had a budget of $1.6 million. I think your sales tax came in $2.3 million, or closer to $2.2 million. So you had a favorable variance of over $561,000 in that area. Your departmental income, you can see, fell short of the budget by a little over $200,000. And again, that was specifically related to your parks and recreation charges. Again, due to the continued COVID pandemic, certain parks and recreation youth programs didn't occur as planned. The third item there is your fines and forfeitures. That's your court tickets, if you will. Again, most of the fines and forfeited bail was on an upswing after being shut down most of 2020. And you can see that exceeded the budget by almost $265,000. And then the large item is your mortgage tax revenues. Because of the lower interest rates at that time, there was a lot of increased activities in the mortgage tax item, and that exceeded the final budget by $1.17 million. Again, with the rise in the interest rates, we probably won't expect to see that in 2022. Page 7, very, very quickly, as I mentioned before, you have favorable variance of $1.5 million all on the expense side. There were savings in all categories. A couple of items I point out here is your general government support, which are your administrative costs, and those were savings of about $400,000 in all categories. And your culture and recreation expenses were down, and that's directly related to the revenues being down due to the shutdown.
If you turn the page to page 8, page 8 is a 5-year history of the fund balance for the general fund. And if you look at the second number up from the bottom in the middle column from 2019, you can see that the unassigned fund balance, which is monies that have not been committed to any purpose, have grown from 4.6 to $7,488,000 at the end of 21. If you also look at the fourth number up, the $600,000 number, that's how much you use to balance the 2022 budget when you put that budget together. If we flip to page 11, Rob?
Yeah.
This is the Town Outside Villages Fund, which includes both the police and other areas.
Right. Page 11 is the police revenues and expenditures, and you can see, again, favorable variances both on the revenue side and the expenditure side. Revenues did exceed expenditures by just under $1 million, so you're able to add that to your opening fund balance of $2 million, and you end the year with a little over $3 million.
And on the following page
Is
the
the
other portion.
the other portion, which also had a surplus, not as big, but also was in the positive by $165,000.
And then page 13, again, is that same presentation of the 5-year history of fund balance. And again, if we look at the fund balance amounts, the total assigned number, the second one up from the bottom, shows what the fund balance has grown from in 2019 to 2021. And the fourth number up in that 2021 column is $300,000, which was used to balance, again, your 2022 budget. So both those funds are in excellent financial condition.
Just quickly on page 15, you do operate other funds. Sewer fund also had revenues that exceeded expenditures, and the sewer fund is financially stable. You have a highway fund of both a part-town and a town-wide. That had expenditures that were more than your revenues by about $262,000, although you still have good fund balance in those funds, just under $2.4 million. You are utilizing $400,000 to balance the budget you're currently in, the 2022 budget.
In the highway fund.
Correct. You also have an active capital projects fund. You have probably 30 active projects with a fund balance of $7.1 million. No bonds were issued in 2021.
You also have in the spiral book a list of all your capital projects. You can find that in a table of contents.
Next few pages are, you do operate 2 golf courses. Blue Hill is on page 16 and 17. Again, Blue Hill had a really good year. Revenues were up a little over $400,000 compared to 2020. Expenses were also up, but not to that extent, about $200,000 or so. The fund generated almost $400,000 of revenues that exceeded expenditures. With that surplus, there is a loan where the general fund had advanced the golf courses some monies to be paid back through a resolution over 30 years with a minimum of $200,000 a year. But because Blue Hill had a good year, they actually made a $400,000 payment. So that reduced that receivable, if you will, in the general fund.
Yeah, actually, if you look on page 16 and you look under the liabilities category, you'll see a line that says advances from other funds. And you'll see in 2020 it was $2,384,000, and in 2021 it's $1,900,000. So that's where the $400,000 was paid down from on the balance sheet. We probably can skip.
Yeah.
Just for your information, on page 24, there's a listing of all your outstanding bonds. You could see that the indebtedness for bonds, the principal amount, was $61,398,590 as of the end of 21. And on page 25, it's just a little synopsis that we like to provide to you in case you forget what we tell you. You can always refer to this page. essentially, we said that the town has successfully stayed within the 2% tax cap, the tax levy limitation law, since it was enacted in 2011. Again, we speak to the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, which we showed you in the spiral-bound book. We indicated here that the town is in very good financial condition, and obviously that success helps you with your cash flow. It helps you avoid short-term borrowing. It's a big plus when the rating agencies look over your financial statements and assign you a bond rating, which I believe is AA2 from Moody's, which results in lower interest costs when you borrow, and obviously that saves money for the taxpayers. We didn't find any material weaknesses within your finance department. So again, you have a good finance team led by Jeff Bensick. And with that said, we're open to any questions you may have. We don't get an applause like before? Thank you.
I actually had one quick question. Jeff, what are we rated by one agency? Can we? Could we get another rating if we wanted to from another agency or not?
We certainly could,
Okay.
but it's gonna cost us $50,000, $60,000.
Got it.
To do that.
No, I'm wrong. All right, no, cool, thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, we're gonna go into the workshop. Item number 7, we're gonna set a date for a public hearing on October 11th, 2022 at 7 PM for the 1-year contract with the Blow-Up Fire Protection District. Number 8, we're gonna have another public hearing at 7:10, 1-year contract with the Orangetown Library District, Louisville, Orangeburg, Tappan, and Palisades Library. Another hearing, set date, public hearing, regular town board meeting on October 11th for the preliminary budget. And you want to talk right now? Jeff's going to come and give us a description of what's in there.
Thanks, Jeff.
This is number 10 here, it's distributing the tentative budget. Yep, he's going to speak.
Okay, so you heard from the auditors, and that was the good news. We are in a very strong financial position. Here's the bad news. We, in the 2023 budget, we're still in discussions with the State Comptroller's Office, but there was dissolution of the Village of South Nyack. They had about a $2.7 million tax cap. What the comptroller is telling us right now is that they're only going to increase our tax cap by $640,000 versus if South Nyack never existed or never dissolved. So that's basically a negative $2 million tax cap that we have to overcome. So, that being said, the supervisor's budget does have us coming under the tax cap, but I just want to go through some key points of it that you're going to want to know about. We have the retirement costs going up 4% in the ERS and 6% for the police retirement. Healthcare going up 7%. Life insurance and risk insurance going up 5%. Also included in this is the 3 years of CSEA raises, which hit us all in 2023. That's a 6.4% increase. We also had the new bond for the new town hall. That added $1.6 million to our debt service. Now, luckily, we were able to refund the $30 million sewer debt from 2008, which saved us $450,000 a year in debt service, so that helped us somewhat to offset that. We're also getting a benefit of about $650,000 from higher interest income that we expect next year. And so, because of that, we had to take some pretty drastic actions in the budget to stay under the cap. So we cut the capital request to 0 across the board. We did not allow Any headcount additions in the building or police, we kept those flat from what they were in 2022. We eliminated 2 vacant positions in highway that were funded but were vacant. We eliminated all the stipends except for one that was won through a grievance. We also left the overtime and brush and weeds at 0, which is what they were in the original or adopted budget last year. We also added the fire hydrants for Tapan and Orangeburg, which is $560,000 in costs. And then we're able to increase the sales tax a little bit to 2.05 million and the building fees to 2.1 million. Net with all of that, that made us appropriate 3 million in fund balance to stay under the cap, and we're currently $15,000 under the tax cap. Where that ranges, we've used as little, a little under 2 million, all the way up to 3.5 million since 2012. So it's in that range. It's much higher than we want. Hopefully we'll get a better answer from the comptroller's office, but that's where we stand now. Any questions on the budget?
I gotta go through this.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
All right, back to the agenda. Item 11, approve, authorize the town attorney to sign settlement documents regarding tax certiorari proceeding for 98 Main Street LLC versus Town of Orangetown. This was approved by both the school district and the county.
Yeah, well, the school district and,
County's not approved?
yeah.
All right. And it's the Nyack School District. Mike Mandel is listening. Accept covenant, hold harmless, and an indemnification agreement regarding a drainage easement at 29 Corporate Drive in Orangeburg. And then number 13, we have an accept the performance bond. That was part of the approval from the planning board for $585,600. Number 14, 34 Clausland Mountain Road, release Sembrado performance bond and accept Blankford performance bond.
That's basically a replacement bond.
It's a replacement bond, all right. And then we have number 15, we're declaring surplus vehicles for the police department. There are a number of vehicles being surplus, about 6 or 7. And then Parks and Rec, number 16, appoint Melissa DeBonis, custodial worker, Parks and Rec, probationary, effective October 3rd. Approve a change order for a pickleball court project for additional drainage. Pickleball. Huge article in the Post today about people fighting over pickleball courts. Let's see. Number 18, combine items 19 to 21. These are all lend assistance. The 2022 Noble 9th Traubin Fest on Sunday, October 2nd. Approve lend aid for the 2022 Piermont October Fest, Saturday, October 15th. And approve lend assistance to the Nyack Fire Department inspection parade on October 8th, 2022. And we've got pay vouchers and exec session. All right. With that being said, let's open the public portion. Can I get a motion to open the public portion?
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, Eileen, I think you're number 1 on that list. I think you're the only one on that list right now.
Should have said, don't shoot the messenger after the other original presentation. Oh dear, I don't think you're going to like what I'm going to say. Not about you, just in general. Good evening, members of the board. Recently, articles have been appearing about the STAR program, and the feeling is that the STAR income, which now is $35,000, I believe, to raise it to $50,000. The STAR exemption, of course, applies to the school taxes only. Interestingly, on March 15, 2022, Nassau County announced a bipartisan legislation that would increase the allowable income. It says for the county, for the seniors, for the county senior property tax exemption. And they give the state legislation, give the two numbers, and the assembly, they give the two numbers. They realize that seniors/disabled persons struggle to make ends meet while living paycheck to paycheck on Social Security or disability insurance. This legislation will provide a 50% property tax assessed reduction for those whose income is $50,000 or less. I am not clear with this legislation if it only applies to the school taxes or school and county and town taxes. As a resident of Orangetown for the past 52 years, I figure I have paid up to maybe $200,000 in school taxes. And I have not had a child in the district since 1992. The time has come for seniors/disabled residents of the town to get relief from school taxes so they can enjoy whatever savings they have and stay in their homes and perhaps go out to dinner more often or not have to worry that they're not going to be able to meet the tax burden. Seniors make up, according to the comp plan, the most recent comp plan, seniors make up less than 9% of the residents of Orangetown. So even if this law was passed, supposedly it would not have a significant effect on the other taxes payers in the town of Orangetown. I'm asking you to take this seriously and to consider looking into how you can start this legislation to move forward. Either, I think the taxing districts have to go along with it.
And the school districts.
And the school district, naturally. Perhaps ask Brian Kenny, who's always very willing to come to up here and talk and explain the way, how we can reach some kind of a reasonable way to stop the seniors from paying $15,000, $20,000 a year up. Today, yesterday maybe, Governor Hochul signed a student forgiveness legislation for those people who are New York public servants. There you go. Another forgiveness loan, PSLF, is a federal program, cancels student loans after 10 years. I am blankety blank years old. I have had my own business for 32 years plus, and I still work my business. Why? Because my business pays for my health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, whatever kind of insurance I have to have. My Orange and Rockland bill will go up. Everything is going up. And now, listening to the other fellow over here, the town is going to pay 6% extra in insurance, 7% health care, a bit. So there goes the $3 million we had. Something has to be done, and I would be more than willing to sit on a committee, and I'm sure that a lot of people in this town are tired. There are a lot of people in this town that don't have pensions, including me. I have Social Security, and I have savings, and I have a job. And you know what? And I watch my grandchildren to the same token. And you know what? I'm done. I love Orangetown, wouldn't want to live anywhere else in the world. I love it. But I think it's unfair for seniors who haven't had children in the districts, for me, since
Eileen,
1992.
Can we wrap
pay
it up?
this.
I gave you an extra
I know,
minute.
you're darling, and I used to sit on that spot more often.
It's a little hot here. All right, no one else is signed up? Mr. Goggins, come on up. Name and address, please. Going to the beach.
Hi, Jerry Goggins, 66 Sickletown Road. Good evening. Thank you again to the town clerk's office for their excellent service. A couple of weekends ago, RCW, Rockland Cider Works, had an event. It was for a very good cause, children with cancer, but it did cause some problems in the neighborhood at the same time. We're not criticizing the event, but there were some concomitant effects. We had very loud music. We had a fairly chaotic situation in the front lot with people backing out into the street. We've got video of that. There were no cars parked on Sickletown. That's because it was a much smaller event than the events that occurred in the fall of 2020. But it does make you wonder, given the business plan from RCW, talking about their plans to have a capacity of 350 people, what it will look like under those circumstances. Our neighbor on Blauvelt Road had to ask patrons to move so that they wouldn't block their mailbox or their driveway. The parking lot utilizes the fire lane that goes to the stables at the back of the property. It's a designated fire lane on the plot map, and yet it's not usable. And that would seem to present a serious danger if a fire breaks out or there's some kind of an emergency back in the stables area. In addition, there is typically, unfortunately there was not that weekend, a program for kids with various challenges and special needs at the barn. And RCW, we understand there was no effort to inform the stables about this event or discuss it with them. And we've already had cases where people have been thrown off horses because of loud noises coming from RCW. In one case, somebody breaking their wrist. So this is a really not a good thing to have going on when these special needs kids are running their program there. That's about all I have to say about it at the moment. But I do note that today, about 7 hours ago, RCW put up an ad on Facebook talking about having a music event next Sunday there. So I have to wonder, despite the estimable nature of this benefit event that they held on the 10th, whether this was just sort of the thin end of the stick. And now they're going to start running music events again. The next one is on Sunday. So I'd ask the town board what they plan to do about this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, right here. I just ask you to state your name and your address for the record.
Yes, my name is Cynthia Benvenuto. I'm at Stonehenge Drive in West Nyack.
Okay.
I'm here, I'm a non-resident of the Pearl River Bee Club, Senior Club.
Okay.
We're non-residents. And we're here because we've been with the club a long time, and we've always paid our dues. We've always paid, whatever the trips were, activities, we paid what everybody else paid. And now, all of a sudden, the past 6 months, things changed, and now we're paying double, of what the residents are paying. We were happily accepted to join the Bee Club. I joined 5 years ago. They welcomed us when they had a need for us because of depleted numbers. And now, all of a sudden, they want to charge us double for everything. So, we should be respected, I feel. We allow people to come on our trips in Clarkstown, and they pay the same thing of what we pay, and they don't pay any dues. So if they want to come on trips, they just pay what we pay. My grandkids went to St. Margaret's. My granddaughter goes to Dance Central Performing Arts. She dances 6 days a week. My daughter spends a fortune here. We go to all the restaurants. We do a lot in Pearl River, but yet we're not treated. We're treated as secondhand citizens here. So,
They also said the amount
Well,
for the,
we're going to have one speaker. Are you done?
yeah.
no,
Oh.
all right.
Yes, I'm done.
I mean, you can both speak. It's just that we like to have one speaker and
Okay.
then the next speaker.
All right. But just because we live geographically a few blocks apart, I don't feel like we should be treated as second-class citizens. After all, most of the non-residents spend a lot of their discretionary income in Pearl River, especially us. So that's all I have to say. And I'd just like to know why that happened. Everything was fine for 5 years, and now all of a sudden, the past 6 months, they want us to pay double for everything. So,
Well, we'll address specific comments at the end of the public portion.
okay, so I'm
Okay.
done.
Does anyone?
Would you like to speak? Then you can.
Hello, I'm Joanne Trojan. I live in Nanuet, New York.
Also, they had told us, because the new board is coming in January, they had told us that the amount for the doubling of the trips wouldn't be in effect until January. And so now, they told the trip coordinator that's different, so now we're, as non-residents, we're paying double as of the summer instead of next year.
I would just like to thank Eileen Larkin for also speaking on and bringing to the board's attention how difficult it sometimes is to be a senior in this town. I know in my neighborhood we have some widows and they worry. And I know that I would be not in a good situation if my husband passed away because I always work per diem, so I don't have a pension or part-time. And I also know that it's not appropriate for the town to take on, massive senior programs. But we do a lot for our young people, and it does cost the town quite a bit. And I think there are things we could do more. And I know people say to me, but, the county does it. But I had researched this, and actually a good number of the county programs are income dependent. So people who may have savings may not be eligible to participate or may have to pay on a sliding scale. And I also asked the question at the County Office of the Aging, and they said, I said, what proportion of the county budget for aging goes to Orangetown? And they would not give me an answer because, it had come to my attention that a lot of the people were not really eligible for some of the programs up there. So I just wanted to make that point and to thank the other people in the community who are seeing that some of us are afraid, and even beyond me who's afraid, there are others who are actually struggling. Thank you so much, and if there's a way we could facilitate information between the Office of the Aging and by someone like our supervisor being an advocate for the people of the town, that probably would be very welcome. Thank you so much.
Anyone else like to speak tonight? I think that's the whole audience. All right. The last audience member is going to speak.
Hi, my name is Carol Giordano. I'm a resident of Clarkstown. I'm also a senior going to the Pearl River Bee Club. Now, we want to know why we can't be grandfathered into the club rather than tell us we're just visitors, and they want us to pay dues. Like my two friends said, they're raising our prices for the trips. And a lot of us can't afford those prices that they're asking for. And why did they increase it now when it should have been increased in January? So, this is what I have to say. It's not fair. We're residents and not of Orangetown, but they brought us in to make it a club, and now they don't want us anymore. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask, is there anyone else that hasn't spoken? I think all right, everyone spoke. Excellent. All right, motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Second from Jerry Vitari. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone want to speak, Paul?
Well, I'll try.
Okay.
So about the senior club, the town, other than donating money to this different senior clubs in Orangetown, has no control over their board or their bylaws or how they run their trips. We just make a donation. So your argument really has to be with their board. And I think you have a fair argument. You were there when they needed more seniors to form their club. So I think it's a worthy argument to go to them too, but there's not really anything, they have their own set of officers, their own set of bylaws, other than the fact that we donate money to help them with their trips. That's the first I've heard of anybody raising their dues or anything else. Did you, Jeff, you want to say something?
Well, I'll just say something. I can't speak for why they decided to raise them now, but they should have been charging you the whole time. It's consistent with the rest of the town policy for the athletic leagues and the golf course and the softball leagues. Non-residents have always been charged higher fees, and that's been consistent throughout. And even to use our parks, we have non-resident fees. But we do allow Clarkstown and Nanuet to come in here. And you can contrast that with Clarkstown, that if you're not a Clarkstown resident, you're not allowed to use their town parks. So we allow you to use our facilities, but we do have a charge. I don't know why they haven't charged you, and maybe 100% increase is a little unreasonable, but it is consistent with the town policy that we've had for the last 13 years that I've been on the board. But they won't even let Orangetown residents use their town parks. That's a fact. But I'm just talking about how I get it, but we're being consistent throughout. For anyone who wants to be on at the complex, they get charged extra money to use that field. If you come in and you're playing softball, you get charged extra. If you go to the golf course, you get charged more because you're using resident assets and you're not paying taxes in this town. And I don't know why they haven't done it in the past, and I don't know why they're increasing it that much, but I think there should be an extra fee for non-residents because it's consistent with what we've always done with everyone else.
Yeah, it's taxpayers' money that funds the programs that we run in the town. So that's our reason for the parks and so on and so forth. That the people in town are already paying taxes. Their taxes are going to, like Barbara said, that are going to the services that they're getting in the town. Again, I think that you'd have to speak with them.
This is not going to be a debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really an issue for the comptroller, and, you have taxpayer revenues that are coming in. Those are required to be spent for taxpayer interest, not for people who are outside of the town. It doesn't matter, they may not be doing it right. You gotta talk to it legally, and if you wanna bring that up with Clarkstown, whether they're doing it, they're probably not doing it right. That's the issue, is it needs to be done right legally.
Right, this is something that came up, it became a legal issue. Again, as Tom said, it probably should have been charged all along, but, now, this was the policy moving forward, and frankly, the way it should have been, as you mentioned, because these are taxpayer dollars that are going to the club. Again, Denise Sullivan from my office, I know, addressed the club last time. I'm not sure if anybody from the supervisor's office was there. I don't know if you want to address it, Carmel, while you're here. Sure. Sure.
Go to the
It came to our attention that non-residents of Orangetown were benefiting from Orangetown taxpayer money. And the town attorney's office was asked to get involved and define the legal. If I'm correct, Rob, I believe Denise said that state law states that town money cannot be used for outside residents. So I don't know why the Clarkstown residents were invited to join Orangetown, but after COVID and everything else, we're trying to set and get the bylaws correct. I have never heard of anybody being charged double. I've heard that if a trip costs $50, the Clarkstown residents or non-residents, I'm not trying to point you guys out, but non-residents are to pay what the cost of the trip is, $50. And then the officers can set the reduced rate for Orangetown residents, which is usually $30. So they're paying $20 more. Again, the example that's being issued. But
So basically, the town of Orangetown is subsidizing these tickets. We're paying X and charging our residents Y.
Right, correct.
So we're buying in bulk and giving Orangetown residents a discount.
Paying the exact fee that
All right, well, that makes sense.
Whatever the cost of the trip is, that's what the non-resident is expected to pay. And that has been stated since March.
All right,
Okay?
I got no problem with it.
Anything else?
Thank you, Carmel. No, thank you.
Thanks, Carmel.
No, no. Now we just go back, right? Vote.
All right, number 7, set the public hearing of October 11th, 2022 at 7 PM for the Love Up Fire Protection District.
Move.
You got a second?
Second.
All right, we got number 8, set date for,
Favor? Aye.
oh, all in favor, sorry.
Aye. Aye.
Number 8, set date for a public hearing, regular town board meeting of October 11th for the Orangetown Library District.
I make a motion. I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Number 9, set date for a public hearing on October 11th at 7:15 for the preliminary budget.
I'll make a motion.
All right,
Second.
Brian, way to go. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Number 10, 2023 Town Supervisors, tentative budget distributed and received. All right. Jeff
That
already did
happened.
that? All right.
I don't think
Jeff,
we need to vote on that.
I'll make a motion on that, Jeff.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Number 11, approve, authorize the town attorney to sign settlement documents for a tax certiorari in Nyack Union Free School District.
I'll make a motion.
All right, coming out swinging. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Number 12, accept covenant, hold harmless and indemnification for drainage easement at 29 Corporate Drive, Orangeburg.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Jerry.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 13, we're going to accept the performance bond pursuant to an approval from the planning board for $585,600.
Move.
Jerry Batari.
I'll second it. Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's go to 14, 34 Clausewell Mountain Road. We're releasing Sambrado performance bond and accepting Blankfort performance bond.
Move.
Jerry Batari.
I'll second.
Brian Donahue, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 15, we're declaring multiple vehicles surplus. They have a ton of miles on them. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Parks and Rec, appoint Melissa DeBonis custodial work in Parks and Rec, probationary effective October 3rd.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Number 17, pickleball.
Tom.
Yep, we're doing a change order for additional drainage. I'll make that motion. I like pickleball.
I'll second.
All right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're going to combine and approve items 19 to 21. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
All right, Brian and then Jerry seconded. All right, so
All-
19 and 20.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I go to 22.
22, pay vouchers. Jeff, what do you got?
Here he is.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, keep it to 6. Rob, we going exec session or no?
If anybody has anything they want, I don't know.
I'm going to nix executive session today.
Okay.
Amen.
And Rob, do not get home till 11. Don't get me in trouble. You got me in trouble last time.
Okay, the audit for tonight's meeting consists of one warrant for $1.8 million. Items of interest, number 5, CSEA Employee Benefit Fund, $35,000 for dental benefits. Number 7, Ferraro Construction, $111,000 for a culvert replacement, that's bonded money. Number 8, Global Montello, $34,000 for fuel. Number 10, Gorman Brothers, $337,000 for highway paving, bonded money. Number 14, Morano Brothers, $68,000 for sidewalks repairs, that's CHIPS money. Number 15, North Carolina Carpets and Garages, $24,000 for a new metal garage at Blue Hill. Number 17, Department of Civil Service, $834,000 for healthcare benefits. Number 21, Slack Chemical, $17,000 for sewer chemicals. Number 22, the Comptroller, $29,000 for justice fines. And number 27, Verdi Electric, $41,000 for traffic signal replacements, also bonded money. Any questions on the audit?
Any questions? All right, motion on the audit. Who do I got?
I make a
Paul
motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, we are not entering exec session. We're gonna,
Closing in memory.
we're gonna adjourn in the memory of Dorothy Magrino, the mother of Rob Magrino, who lived till 97 years old. God bless her. Rob, you have anything to say?
I guess I have to now. Thanks,
you
thanks to everybody for all their kind words and wishes. The family appreciates it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
All right. Well, I'll address that right now.
Need the motion.
Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Just take the vote. Motion. Who's taking the motion?
All right. Motion to close?
Who's making the motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.